If you remember Carl Fredricksen getting buried by rocks, getting eaten by giant plants, and just straight up getting crushed by spikes, then you grew up playing Pixar's Up, the game. But which one? Because there were 4 completely different versions released across 8 consoles, and in this video we're going to compare each of them. Let's begin with the flagship version developed by Pixar game alumni Heavy Iron Studios for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Wii. And straight away I've got to hand it to these developers for continuing the trend of beautiful Pixar game menus. These ones are quite simple, but they have a rich illustrated feel to them. When it comes to the campaign, there's no setup or preamble. We start with a cold open of Old Man Fredricksen in the thick of it.
Yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up here with this low-poly kid and this dog in a World War I fighter plane.
That's right, the very first level is Doug engaging in some dogfights. Get it?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I've got him. Oh no, they killed Doug. Oh wait, no, it's okay. The game makes sure to show you he's fine. But I didn't see any parachutes on the Muntz dogs. You know what? The flying controls are actually pretty good, and so are the visuals. It's a pretty strong start for the game. This is followed by an old-timey newsreel cutscene similar to the one from the movie.
Russell takes a terrible fall. Carl Fredricksen cannot believe his eyes.
The game then picks up from the point where the house crashes in the jungle, and straight away we see Carl using his pent-up old man rage.
Goddamn kid, why did you have to ruin my life? I just wanted to be with my dead wife!
It's okay though, because Russell can throw hands of his own in this one.
I can't believe we're almost at Paradise Falls.
Gameplay-wise, this is very much a LEGO TT clone. In fact, this plays incredibly similar to the LEGO Indiana Jones game, which was released only a year prior. You go through 3D levels, solving basic puzzles, and doing platforming. You gather coins and collect all sorts of things like bugs, which Mr. Fredricksen seems to get extra joy from squishing. There are at least 2 characters at any one point, and you can either switch between them or do 2-player co-op. Each character has their own ability, like Russell shimmying across ledges and Carl moving heavy objects. You know, he's pretty spry for an old man. Occasionally you'll get these sections where you have to fly the house across large gaps. The characters each have special abilities, like Carl using his hearing aid to scare away insects. I would definitely say the game's biggest strength is its charming presentation that's really faithful to the vibrant tone of the movie. It also helps that they got the voice actors from the movie back for this game.
I think I could grab that ledge with my cane.
Oh no, Mr. Fredricksen! Mr. Fredricksen! Unfortunately, there's not that much variety when it comes to the gameplay, with many levels consisting of you doing the same 4 platforming puzzles again and again. But it's not all bad, because after a few levels in the jungle, you get this slide section.
Oh, but this is more fun!
Oh, poor kid, look, he went face first into the rock. Just don't tell your mum, Russell. This is followed by a boss battle against a giant snake. And I will give the developers props for at least giving us a bit of variety when it comes to the boss fight in this game. For example, this one has Carl make balloon animals to distract the snake and then dangle off the rope to get its attention. This is followed by another standard LEGO type level in the mist. Oh no, a giant plant ate Carl. This game really is elder abuse simulator wrapped in a cute child-friendly wrapper, isn't it? This level also introduces the rather annoying feature of the house getting stuck on something. So you have to do this reverse escort mission of tying the house to a rock, clearing the obstacles, and then coming back for it. I mean, it's fine if you're playing this co-op, but the player 2 AI just isn't very bright. For example, you do the slow boulder moving puzzle and then jump on the ledge. The next level introduces Doug as a playable character who's got his own set of special abilities, like pulling levers, digging up bones, and crawling through these doggy doors. They're all pretty much recycled from the LEGO games, but I did like this one where he helps Carl swim across the water. Finally, someone's helping this old man.
I am just a simple dog.
This level also has Monsters dogs who ambush you by way of mini boss battles. And I do like how Carl can just tie a balloon to them and make them fly away. I should try that on my neighbor's XL Bully. This is followed by another level, this time at night, and nothing new really happens here. And then we get another water slide level. This one ends in a crocodile boss fight, and once again poor Mr. Fredrickson is used as bait to lure the crocodile under these stalactites. Next up is the climb up Paradise Falls. It's another standard level with all the same mechanics, but it was nice of the developers to reference the falling out that Carl and Russell had at this point in the movie via the dialogue.
That bird was none of my concern.
Your name is Kevin, and you just gave her away.
The next level takes place in Muntz's blimp, but all the puzzles and platforming is still the same. It looks like all the lever pulling and climbing has finally got to poor Carl, and he's having a seizure.
I'll take the high road, you take the low.
And then we get the final stage, which is a continuation of the first level with Doug in the plane. This time there are 3 waves of planes that you've got to shoot down and then take out all of the blimp's engines. Wait, I don't remember that in the movie. Are they trying to reenact the Hindenburg or something? Anyway, that's it for the campaign, but there are also a couple of little fun local multiplayer modes which repurpose sections from the story mode. And so that's it for the PS3 and 360 version. Now the Wii version is almost identical. Naturally, the puzzles and platforming have a lot more waggle to them, plus the Wii version's graphics have more of an animated cel-shaded look to them. Here is a side-by-side comparison. Okay, next up we have the last gen version developed by Asobo Studios and released for the PlayStation 2, PSP, and PC. This version is also split into levels, only there are quite a bit more of them, but they are shorter. Plus, the level select screen is presented as this 3D diorama through Paradise Falls. And what's fascinating is that this version also has cutscenes in between levels. They're trying to be as faithful to the movie as possible, but they're not from the movie, they're pre-rendered cutscenes made by the developer. And it kind of ends up looking like a Pixar movie on a shoestring budget.
I've never been in a floating house before.
Now, this version follows the same basic gameplay style as the flagship, but just like the last gen versions of Ratatouille and WALL-E, this is a completely different game built from the ground up for the last gen hardware. The first level starts earlier in the story with them chasing the house, and straight away you can tell the characters do feel a bit faster to control. Just look at the pace on this old man. You still have the signature moves like the climb and the teeter-totter, but the AI is a bit more proactive this time around. You also get this water rafting section where you've got to avoid the crocs. And this being a very late era PlayStation 2 game, the developers were able to really squeeze all the juice out of the hardware and make the environment look great. As I said, you get a lot of the same gameplay features as in the flagship, but they are executed differently. For example, the hearing aid is now Carl's primary weapon. Russell can still use the rope to help Carl, but this time you actually have to control the old man to get around obstacles. Also, the characters don't respawn when they run out of health. Instead, they just can't progress any further until they eat some fruit, which sometimes requires some backtracking. Overall, this version has a bit more of a faster pace. It still relies on all the same set of gameplay tropes, but it does execute them in a bit more of a robust way. There's a little bit more gameplay variety here too, like this chase where one of the players steers and the other one uses Russell's mirror to hold back the dogs. We also get this dog boss battle section, and then a house walking platforming centric level. You can actually play as Kevin in this one, well, in very short bursts. He's mainly there to jump on things that are too high for the other characters to reach. Doug is also playable and he has very similar mechanics to the flagship. Don't forget, you have to take the house with you. Well, that's a sentence I never thought I'd read. So yes, this time around there are actual levels where you literally have to carry the house with you. Back you beast! Yeah, that's right, fall off a cliff. Now, this version does tend to retread many of the same level types in the latter half of the game. For example, we get another rafting level, another dog boss battle, another house walking level, and then another Kevin chase. Eventually you will get inside the blimp, and this is a perfect example of this version being a lot more faster paced than the flagship. If you get your timing right, you can pretty much just run straight through it instead of stopping every few seconds to pull a lever. The game ends with a chase on top of the Zeppelin and then a very similar final level to the flagship where you have to shoot down rounds of planes and then take out the blimp's engine. Only this time Carl is actually in the plane with Doug and Doug is wearing Harry Potter glasses. And so the game ends with the house casually falling off the edge with Muntz still inside. Just like the flagship, this version also has a few multiplayer minigames, plus bonus content like high-res images. High-res. For those interested in the difference in graphics, here are the PlayStation 2 and PSP versions side by side. Okay, next up is the Nintendo DS version, and this game is known for its super charming and expressive in-engine cutscenes. The characters mime everything, and it kind of reminds me of the PS1 era Final Fantasy games. Gameplay-wise, it's actually quite faithful to the flagship version of the game. You've got many of the same puzzles and platforming elements, and you can still switch characters on the fly, although I'm not quite sure what Carl is trying to do when you switch. Now, I did find the platforming to be a bit funky at times, and the second player does have a tendency to just stand there in the same spot you left them in, which does result in you playing the same section twice. As expected, the touchscreen is used for many of the puzzles and platforming sections. This version is also filled with these random dog battles where poor old man Fredrickson has to fight a pack of wild animals. So even though it's portable, this version is still very much on brand with the elder abuse from the flagship. I must say, this version does have a really cozy hub zone in the form of a camp where you can select all the different gameplay modes and extras. And speaking of extras, there are a bunch of touchscreen mini games like this one where Carl gets crushed by spikes, and this one where he falls to his death when the balloons pop. See what I mean about the elder abuse? And finally, we have the Java Mobile version. This one is split into two types of levels. We've got the one where you actually fly the house. Well, it kind of flies itself, you just have to manage the altitude so it doesn't hit the rocks. And then we've got these platforming stages where Carl and Russell are tied to the house, which is actually the size of a doghouse in this one. Anyway, these levels are actually really fun because the house acts as a lift and makes Carl and Russell control like they're on the moon. Also, I like all the little animations they gave the characters in this one. And so there we have it, every version of Pixar's Up. What can I say, it's a perfectly serviceable 3D platformer. If you're looking for a LEGO Indiana Jones clone with dogfights, then try out the flagship. Otherwise, I'd probably recommend the PlayStation 2 version, especially if you're playing this co-op. But that's just my take. Please leave a comment below with your memories of Pixar's Up, the game. Which was your favorite version, favorite level, and what do you estimate Carl's medical bills were when he finally got back from Paradise Falls? As always, thanks for watching. Please consider supporting me on Patreon, and a big thanks to my existing patrons. If you've enjoyed this video, then please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.